The rain falls slowly over an old campus hidden between mountains, where fog wraps around stone buildings like a memory that refuses to fade. A woman steps through the rusted gates, her footsteps echoing across the empty courtyard. She moves carefully, as if every step carries weight, as if she is walking toward something she both fears and needs to understand. Her name is Mara, though she hesitates when she says it aloud, unsure if it still belongs to her. A black banner hangs across the entrance of the main hall. White letters spell out a message that makes her stop breathing for a moment. Memorial service today, in loving memory of Mara Vance. She stares at the words, waiting for someone to laugh and reveal the joke, but the wind only pushes the banner back and forth like a silent pendulum counting down to something inevitable. Inside, candles glow softly, illuminating rows of chairs filled with students wearing old uniforms. They sit perfectly still, their faces pale, their eyes fixed on the stage. None of them turn when she enters, yet she feels watched by all of them at once. She remembers teaching here, literature classes filled with laughter and late assignments, stories about ghosts and unfinished lives. She remembers leaving suddenly, or maybe disappearing. The memory fractures every time she tries to hold it. A young boy stands and begins to speak about her as if she were gone forever. He talks about her kindness, her strange fascination with death, and how she used to say stories never truly end. The students nod slowly, their movements too synchronized, too rehearsed. Mara walks down the aisle, whispering that she is alive, that she is standing right there, but no one reacts. Her voice dissolves into silence. She reaches for a girl's shoulder, but her hand passes through like mist through air. Fear rises like cold water in her chest. The lights flicker, and the air grows heavy. On the stage, a framed photograph of her smiles back, frozen in time. Flowers surround it, their petals fresh despite the decay surrounding the building. A memory hits her without warning. The accident, rain on the road, headlights blinding her, the sudden silence after impact. She stumbles backward, refusing to accept it. If she is dead, why does she feel so real? Why can she still walk, think, remember? The ceremony continues. One by one, students stand to share stories, but their voices sound distant, echoing from another world. Some stories contradict each other, describing different versions of her, as if each memory reshaped who she was. A girl in the front row finally turns to look at her. Her eyes are hollow but gentle. She mouths a single word: stay. Mara shakes her head and rushes outside, needing air. The courtyard looks darker now, shadows stretching unnaturally long. A bell rings somewhere far away, though the tower above is broken and silent. She notices another figure standing near the old tree where students used to gather. A man dressed like a teacher from decades ago watches her quietly. He says he has been waiting for her. He explains that this school exists between moments, a place where unfinished souls gather when their stories refuse to end. The students are ghosts bound by memories of regret, fear, or longing. The memorial is not for mourning but for understanding. Mara refuses to believe she belongs here, but he gestures toward the building where the ceremony continues without pause. He says she must decide whether to move forward or remain, helping others find peace. Back inside, the atmosphere shifts. The students begin to look more alive, their eyes following her as she walks down the aisle again. They whisper her name, not with sadness, but expectation. One student confesses that she died believing she had failed everyone. Another admits he never forgave himself for something he did. Their stories intertwine, revealing that Mara had once helped them confront their fears through storytelling, encouraging them to rewrite their endings. She realizes they are not just ghosts, they are reflections of unresolved stories, fragments of lives that need closure. The photograph on the stage changes subtly, showing different moments of her life: childhood laughter, first day teaching, a rainy road at night. The teacher near the tree appears beside her again and says the memorial is a threshold. If she accepts her death, she can leave. If she chooses to stay, she will guide lost souls, becoming part of the school forever. A storm begins outside, thunder shaking the windows. Candles flicker violently, casting moving shadows that resemble living figures. The students stand together, their voices rising into a chorus of memories. Mara walks onto the stage and looks at the photograph. She speaks for the first time with clarity, acknowledging the fear she carried, the mistakes she made, and the lives she touched without realizing it. As she speaks, the room transforms. The gray walls glow softly, and the students begin to fade one by one, their expressions peaceful. Each disappearance feels like a story reaching its final page. A girl approaches her last, thanking her for never giving up on them, even when they gave up on themselves. She asks whether Mara will stay or go. Mara looks at the empty chairs and the fading candles. She feels the pull of something beyond the doors, a warmth that promises rest. But she also sees the lingering shadows at the edges of the hall, new figures waiting silently, stories unfinished. She chooses to stay. The building shifts, becoming brighter, less abandoned. The banner outside changes, no longer marking an ending but a beginning. The teacher smiles and fades away, his duty complete. Time loses meaning as new students arrive, each carrying their own regrets and unfinished chapters. Mara guides them through stories, helping them face the truths they avoided in life. Years pass, or perhaps only moments. The school becomes a sanctuary between worlds, and she becomes its quiet guardian. One night, a new memorial banner appears with a different name. Another soul arrives, confused and afraid, stepping through the gates just as she once did. Mara greets them gently, understanding now that death is not the end but a continuation of stories waiting to be told. As the rain falls again over the silent campus, she stands beneath the old tree, watching lights glow in the windows, listening to laughter echo where silence once lived. The memorial that once terrified her becomes a ritual of transformation. Each ceremony reminds her that endings are only doorways disguised as goodbyes. And somewhere beyond the fog, life continues. But within these walls, stories find their final shape, guided by someone who once attended her own memorial and chose to stay so others would never face theirs alone.